Can I look in the window? No? No?
Okay. So today I'm going to talk about Montessori education, and one of the main premises is follow the child in Montessori education. A teacher I worked with once told me, follow the child and they will show you what you need. This is a lot about Montessori education because Montessori education is based on following the child and letting them self-discover a lot of education through academia and culture. Dr. Maria Montessori based Montessori education on a lot of research she did with children who spoke other languages other than her own and children who experienced things on the autism spectrum. They used Montessori education from Dr. Montessori to cross language barriers and cultural barriers so that children ended up learning on the same playing field. Montessori education was taken into research in a low-income community. The schools tested, it was approximately 5 Montessori schools and about 10 to 15 traditional schools. The children in both of those schools were 75% or over below poverty level and qualified for free and reduced lunch. The students in Montessori, which is the lighter long blue strip, outperformed students in traditional high-achieving curriculum schools, which is the dark blue strip. And I think that kind of says a lot about Montessori schools because a lot of value is in numbers, but even the Montessori schools who had less students outperformed the schools who had significantly more pupil population than Montessori schools. And another interesting fact is the Montessori schools were highly populated Latino pupil population. So a lot of the barriers that these children faced were cultural and language barriers. So I think that speaks a lot about how the curriculum of Montessori education crosses language barriers and cultural barriers. And then next, we're going to talk about the lesson planning of Montessori education. Montessori curriculum, teachers lesson plan based on small groups that are on the same level or individually. Students are given individual lesson plans for the week or month, depending on how the teacher sees fit. And they work on these works throughout the day, and they have to go back to the teacher and have the teacher check them. But it is their independent responsibility to make sure they're done. And then another strong quality of Montessori teaching is leadership. Leadership is gained in many ways because when children work in the small groups that the teachers teach in, they have to lead each other because the teacher is there and they are leaders of the room, but they rely on the children to lead each other in academic and learning environments. And another quality of Montessori education that I have personally seen in students is there's a better self-identity found in Montessori because a lot of the curriculum is not based on one culture versus the other. It is we learn about the world and the world learns about us. It is very much, there are all these different options and you can be any of them or you can fall in between. There's not a lot of pop culture influence. They use a lot of knowledge as power. So they use the knowledge to help find themselves. They have more of a self-identity rooted in them. And then, as I touched on throughout, Montessori creates a lot of character traits that are very helpful throughout life. They're character traits you would learn, but Montessori helps develop them strongly and very efficiently. I spoke on leadership earlier about how they have to be leaders in their groups, but they also have to be leaders in teamwork, and they have to learn how to share teamwork and responsibility. Because of the small groups they work in, a teacher might group a lot of kids in a level K reading group, but then there's a kid that reads an A, and there's a kid that reads on a 3rd grade level outside of the letters, and they all have to kind of work together and in hopes pull each other up and use kind of a laddering technique. Students also experience creativity and problem solving in the way that they use their teamwork skills, and they build a community. Each school has a large community on a larger scale, and then each classroom is its community within itself. And Montessori also teaches a lot of patience. Children are expected to wait until the teacher is ready to talk to them. If the teacher is working with someone, the student is supposed to wait patiently. It teaches a lot of patience through the work and manipulative that they use, because they are expected to be able to work with their hands and use beaded work and use shapes and blocks and things. And those are the works that cross that language and cultural barrier. In conclusion, Montessori helps build leadership and community skills that will help further children in their life, and they also use these skills to work proficiently in the community and work environment. And that's it. This is the list of my sources. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye, Code.